Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Hope everybody had a great week. Happy Thanksgiving. And we got a lot to be thankful for. So let's just keep moving forward. Before we do anything else, let me just share my screen. Take a look at the S&P 500 map for Friday. Video is down. We'll go further into that in the news. They're withholding its AI chip for China, which many feel will cut in to their earnings, maybe as much as, I don't know, 1 to 10%, something like that, 1 to 5%. So that's why the downdraft there. Most of the other big techs are doing well. We'll take a look at that on the charts. And so that's that. And let me go to our other screen. This is what I like to show. You don't want to, if you want to be able to sleep at night, have your money protected, an annuity is a great thing to have. As you can see, they beat index investing by about 5%. You'll never lose money. Once it goes up the staircase, it never comes down, unlike index investing bobs and weaves with the stock market. And it continually just keeps rising up. Right now, a lot of annuities are paying a 40 to 45% bonus on all new money coming into annuity. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And that's our talk on annuities. And let's go to the chart. First, we'll take a look at 10-year treasuries, which have a big effect on how stocks move. The reason the stock market has gone up so much is because treasuries have come down so much. They almost hit 5% on the 10-year. And look at that move down. And today we had a huge gap up. Part of the reason is that the Europeans had to lower the bond prices in order to get enough people to buy them, and yields had to go up. As bond prices go down, yields go up. So that's the story with that. Take a look at the 20-year. Got a big gap up in the 20-year as well. Take a look at the VIX. The VIX continues down. At some point, it's going to clear this gap over here. It's an oscillating index. It's not a stock. So it's 100% positive that it's going to fill the gap. And let's look at the S&P 500. It is up 0.06%, 0.06% today, as the index tries to get above its previous high. Look at the equal weighted. Looks even stronger. Looks like buying is broadening out. Look at the NASDAQ. It actually broke out to new highs over here, and we got a little bit of a pullback today, 0.14%. Equal weight looks even better. It's moved up higher than yesterday's close and closed near the high, up 0.28%. IWM has really been moving from the bottom. Really hit new bottom, gapped up here. We got another gap up, the pullback, and then a gap up here, and it's just continued higher, remained pretty strong. And this really shows you that the market is broadening out. And the Dow Jones continues to move up as well. Boeing had a good week, which really helped the Dow. And let's take a look at the dollar index. Dollar index tried to move higher, and then it really fell back today. Look at gold. Gold continues its move. This looks like a double bottom. Shook a lot of people out, and then it started moving up, and we got a little handle here. So we'll just have to see if it can clear this area. 186.46 would be a breakout. And on silver, silver keeps moving up. We had a pretty bad low over here. It's pulled back, got to pull back here and breaking through the handle. So silver looks pretty good now. I guess if it gets back up in this area, consider taking profits. And if it has another pullback, you can buy back out, maybe sell 5-6%, and then when it pulls back by 7-8%. Buy a little more when it pulls back here, and then when it comes up, you have a winner in your hands. Let's look at copper. Looked like this copper miner tried to bottom, came up here, hit its 20-day moving average, and is pulling back. Southern Copper moved above its 200-day and now is pulling back to its 10-day moving average. Report McMoran pulled back a little bit today. Rio, which we said had a pretty good dividend that they pay out. Dividend, I believe it was 5.8% yield. And it's trying to move up here again. So let's take a look at Ethereum in the crypto space. Had a severe pullback here, but now it looks like it's trying to break out again. Had some pretty good volume here 2 days in a row. Bitcoin broke out here, broke out. We got a big pullback, and it resumed the uptrend. Once again, we got some pretty good volume. So let's go to our news. In the world news, investors have poured $40 billion into stocks since October 9th. This is the biggest 2-week inflow since February 2022, Bank of America said on Friday. In the 4 trading sessions to Tuesday, investors put $16.5 billion into stock funds. Bank of America said its weekly flow shows research note. The U.S. is reviewing several multi-billion-dollar deals by the Middle East wealth funds on their perceived close ties to China. And now let's go to Amazon. It's set to win unconditional EU antitrust approval for its $1.4 billion acquisition of robot vacuum maker iRobot. And Amazon is up 2 days in a row. It's up slightly today, 0.02%. And iRobot is flying. People just love this news. Huge gap up and closed on its high. Target filed for mixed shelf securities, additional securities. Size wasn't, but people seem to like this, although the volume was pretty low. It's going to dilute current shareholders. Tesla is ready to invest up to $2 billion to set up a factory in India if the government cuts import duty on vehicles to 15% for the first 2 years of operation, Economic Times reported. And Tesla was up about 0.5% on that news. Wynn Resorts, unions representing hospitality staff in Las Vegas said that workers employed at Wynn have voted in favor of ratifying a new 5-year contract, days after similar moves by its competitors, Caesars and MGM. And Wynn is up on the news. Volume was kind of muted. Energy, industrials, and materials. Lithium prices in China fell more sharply this week, hitting 26-month low as the most traded January lithium futures contract on the exchange edged up 1% to end the week at 124,000 won, $17,202.65 per metric ton, down 10% on the week. They had shed 7% the week before. Maybe this has something to do with the lithium find that they found in Nevada. Barclays is working on plans to save up to £1 billion, $1.25 billion, which could involve cutting as many as 2,000 jobs, mainly in the British bank's back office. A person with direct knowledge of the proposals told Reuters. Some British customers of HSBC are unable to use the mobile and digital banking services, causing disruption to shoppers during Black Friday sales, said Bloomberg. And on to Lipocine files $150 million mixed security shelf. It is not coming up. And Novo Nordisk will launch its hugely popular anti-obesity drug Wegovy in Japan on February 22nd. Its first launch in Asia, the company said. And on that news, the stock is breaking out. We didn't have a double bottom or anything. We had a funny lopsided base, but it is definitely breaking out. And the volume picked up today from the previous week. And finally, NVIDIA has told customers in China it's delaying the launch of a new artificial intelligence chip it designed to comply with the U.S. export rules until the first quarter of next year, two sources familiar with the matter told Reuters. And NVIDIA was down on the news, not quite down to its 20-day moving average, but the volume was a little low. It was pretty high yesterday. I think rumor broke out yesterday about what was happening. So that's the news there. Let's take a look where the money is flowing today. Professional money managers are putting their money. Hollis Automation Techs, industrial automation and control systems in China. Huge gap up. Pretty massive volume here. Earnings 41% latest quarter. Supposed to be up 53% next year, 9% the years following. And here's another one we profiled in China before. Minoso Group Holding, ADR, operates 5,200 stores located in 80 countries and regions under the brand Minusu. And it gapped up today from yesterday. Pretty good volume. And Lifeway Foods, look at that move. Huge volume. Just kind of way past extended, but it had a breakout here of 1306 right over here. And that's what, not too many things were moving there. Let me see if there was anything else in the small caps that were moving. Some of the ones that we talked about last couple of weeks were on the list. See if we can bring those up. Duolingo is one of them. And Zscaler was another. So let's look at a couple of those. Zscaler had like 3 days tight, and then it popped up, bouncing off of the 10-day moving average. CrowdStrike up 0.5%, continues moving up. Let's look at Palo Alto Networks in that space, trying to break out. Got some pretty low volume over here. Just continue to watch that. Let's look what's down in price today. NetEase had a big move up here. People taking profit, but it did surge back up to its 10-day moving average at the end of the day. And CLH, Clean Harbors, is down big on huge volume today. So that's all we got. The big money is flowing or flowing out of. On an educational point, let's take a look at some of the things that we've looked at. In the biotech space, this stock just keeps surging. Got pretty good volume. If we look at it on a weekly space, it hit a low of like 870 over here, came back up to looks like 1076, then undercut down to 743 was the low. And ever since then, if you come right over here, let's see if we can draw that line. On this day, 1074 hit 1074, and it's just been moving this week, I should say. This week it hit 1074, and then it's just been trending higher on a weekly basis and on a daily basis. So you can really see broke out over here, kind of consolidated a little bit here, and then it's just turning up again. So there's obviously something going on there. Look at all these blue bars. These blue bars signify professional buying. We had nothing over the average line over here. On the blue, we got 1 day over here. Everything was basically below, but now all of a sudden we get a lot of buying interest. BLTE had a big consolidation over here. This is stage 1. Tried to break out, got up to 4060, and it looks like it may be producing a handle here. So we got a triangle forming. So we'll just have to see if, it's been pretty tight here. Have to see if this is able to pop up or if it pops down. Just keep an eye on that. And then we looked at Zscaler. Talked about it over here. I was a little frustrated I missed out on CrowdStrike. So right over here, about the $175 option, about 2 options. I plan to convert those options into stock if it stays above this area. So that is in December. You can see the blue bar starting to pick up here. And one red bar that was on a consolidation. And now when it's working on the right side of the base, we got 1, 2, 3, pretty good bars there. Take a look at it on a weekly basis. Undercut the low over here, and then huge gap up and starts moving up. And the trend continues up. We got another kind of a breakout here. If we would just put the line right there, broke above the line here and just continued higher. Meta or Facebook. When I was trading over here, I said investors love pushing this back up to 300. If the bond yields back off, and we saw that the bond yields did incredibly, it was going to really jump from 300. And so it's gone pretty close to 340 now. We'll just see if it gets continuing buying. The volume has dropped off here a little bit. 2023 earnings up 111% and up another 22% next year. They're using AI as well. So that's a look at that one. And then Microsoft continues be pretty strong. This is a huge leader in AI. They poured a lot of their treasury money into researching AI. They're doing a lot of work with Sam Altman's company on the AI front, really closely connected. So that's our, and we did, let's look at CrowdStrike. Kind of broke out here, had a big pullback down to 140. I actually had bought $155 strike over here. And when it pulled back to 140, I just had to get out, preserve capital, and wish I had maintained my idea. And it's just continued to rise. Got volume spikes here, here, here. Look at all the buying over here. 84% earnings increase next year and 25% more in 2025. So that's a look there. Now let's look at our ETFs. Here's the financials. Looks like it's about ready to break out of there. Since this was a double bottom, we got down here, down here. Time to buy would have been 34.04 when it just broke out here, and you'd be sitting pretty. Energy, we'll just see if it has hit bottom. Oil prices still kind of going back and forth. Doesn't look like it's been able to break up any. Here we got Google and Facebook Meta. This is, I guess, the second strongest ETF that we've been looking at. Biotech looks like it started, looks like it definitely hit bottom, trending up. The iShares Biotech IBB doesn't look quite as strong. See if it can break above the declining 50-day moving average. In software, this is the strongest ETF. And a 2-day kind of like pause after it broke out, and then it's trending higher again today. 2-day strong volume, but it really didn't go anywhere. So looks like equal number of buyers and sellers. came down to 333.03, undercut that at 327. So this is definitely a double bottom. The buy would have been 357.72. Technology, we had a slight pullback, 0.19% today. We had a double bottom. The buy point here would have been 172.93, right around here. Once again, you'd be sitting pretty if you had done that. SMH pulled back to its 10-day moving average. Since NVIDIA, good portion pulled back. Taiwan Semiconductor was another one, had a big pullback. You can look at Applied Materials. They were up slightly today. AMD, pretty flat. ACLS hasn't done anything in a long time. So there you have that. See where our airlines are. Look like they hit bottom at 1469. They cleared 3 of the moving averages. Just need to get above the 200-day. Industrials undercut. This is a double bottom. The buy point would have been 104.02. When it gapped up over here, this would be the buy point from buying in a double bottom. Just draw these lines here. See if these red lines will agree with me. And then it comes over here. And then you can just see a little more clearly. This is a W. When it gets 10 cents above middle of the W, this is a buy point. Building materials continue, got another gap up today on building materials, a little lower volume, concerning point, but it just keeps trending up. Mining and metals. Here we had a big cup with a handle, got a pullback, bounced up, and it's just bobbed and weaved ever since. So here looks like this is a double bottom as well. And then it undercut here. And then when it got above 40, let's see what's the middle here, 52.34 would be 52.44. And have been probably either this day or this day. And we're looking for the normal cup with handle breakout again, see if it can make it. And finally, XHB, home builders. A lot of tight closes here as the yields pull back. If the yields go up again, which is entirely possible, this is going to definitely pull back. And some of the leaders here are D.R. Horton, Lennar, Toll Brothers. Looks like it's already broken out. Beazer Homes, which doesn't look quite as good. KBH Home. It's kind of a lopsided base. MHO Homes. They all look like a lopsided base, I guess, because they've come down so far. And then when the yields pull back so strongly, that's when they surge. So it bears watching. And that's our report for today. This has been Mornings with Michael for information, educational purposes only. Do your own due diligence. If you ever have any questions about your own financial um, goals or activities, feel free to reach out to us. In the meantime, keep your goals going, keep your activities going, and you'll surprise yourself and others around you. Everybody have a great weekend.